episode of Club 36 Podcast. I'm Quinn.
Tour.
Today we got a pretty good episode lined up for you. We're going to tell you about the topics as we get to them instead of telling y'all everything. That way y'all can kind of have a little bit of a surprise, I guess. Starting off, difference between HBCUs and PWIs. What do y'all think is the main differences between the two? And what are things that they could put into HBCUs to kind of give them that edge to be closer to PWI?
I'll start first because I went to both. Out of high school, I went to Stephen F. Austin. Then eventually I transferred to Prairie View A&M University. The main difference, and I talked to you about this, like admissions, because I applied at Prairie View out of high school, never heard nothing, like didn't hear anything back until like a year later, like it was too late. Versus SFA, like they were like this. I applied for them, and I think like 3 days later I had got my acceptance letter and all that. So I mean, organization and admissions office, you know, things like that. But that was 2008. I don't know what it's like now. It probably got better. They got, you know, better facilities now and everything in Prairie View. But the main difference I say is like the culture, man. Like SFA was cool, but it ain't touching PV. Like, you know, home days we used to have like whole events. It was like a party, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of why I'm glad I waited to go, because if I was 18 fresh out of high school, my priorities wouldn't have been straight, man. I probably would have been on academic suspension after the first semester, and I don't even think you can do that. You know what I'm saying? So it was good I waited to go there. But like I said, the culture, man, like PV felt like a family environment. You know what I'm saying? Like a family reunion. You got the band, you got DJs, you had the parties. Even the teachers, like we had predominantly black teachers, and that was something I wasn't used to. So you have people that really can relate to you when you go to HBCU versus a PWI. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much the main difference. Like if you're thinking about going to HBCU, I highly recommend it.
Not necessarily like the same, but like I can even throw like Lon Morris into that same aspect. Only because when I graduated from high school, I went to Blinn. You know, Blinn at that time was one of the top junior colleges, not only in the state but like in the country. Sure. So seeing their dorms and their facilities and stuff like that, and then ended up at Lon Morris, which was kind of a older school. A lot of stuff wasn't there when we first got there. A lot of the doors weren't there. Facilities were just being built and stuff like that. But it was kind of like the culture there, because like that, Lon Morris is like in East Texas. So people out there are a little bit different than people out here, as far as the culture and stuff like that, and their aspects and everything. Because they thought Lon Morris was just the most beautiful school in the world and stuff like that. I'm not saying it was terrible, but you know, it wasn't up to par with some of the other schools, not only like Blinn, but schools in the area, because it wasn't that far from SFA either.
Yeah, true.
And you know, seeing the differences between the two, and then the culture and stuff like that, because the culture is really the main difference between HBCUs and PWIs. It's like you actually get the chance to learn more so about yourself at HBCU. Speaking from like an African American perspective, you can learn more about yourself at HBCUs than you could at PWIs, because you can relate more to the classes, the professors, the students around. And just like he was saying, like just everything. Like he was saying, the hump day, and you know, you have the Fridays, Catfish Fridays, and PV and stuff like that. It's just that you don't get that at every single school. So I mean, and I'm not trying to push anybody to go to either one. Make the decision for yourself, but I feel like you won't have another experience like going to HBCU.
Sure.
So keep that in mind. Pretty much I feel like HBCUs, the only thing that could probably help them get to the level of PWIs is if alumni, those boosters, actually invested more time, more money into the schools.
That's a good point.
Because they make a lot of money. A lot of them are really good professional people once they graduate from college, and some of them, they show their faces at homecoming and stuff like that, but they don't really invest back into the school like they should, to where you have better classrooms, better computers in the computer lab and stuff like that, up-to-date library. Just because I'm not just thinking about a sports thing, it's just the school in general. If people invested more money, things could be a lot better, and then you would have a higher attendance rate HBCUs rather than everybody deciding, instead of going to PV, let me go to UT instead. It's like just different culture, different vibes. I'm speaking from mostly HBCU experience, and it's like really it's nothing like it. So I think that right there, the culture is the main difference between the two.
I agree with y'all on that. I'm the only one that didn't go to HBCU. I went to PWI with the UL Lafayette. Like he said, SFA. It seemed like HBCU when you were there. Like UL said that we had a big African American population as far as students go. You know what I mean? Especially with sports, most of them play sports. So you had that factor, but again, like the culture was a little bit different. But over there, the culture was also different from a lot of places I've been to, because going to a different state, it was completely different. So I learned a lot of stuff out there, people are different. They more, everybody, I'm not gonna say everybody got along, but people were more welcoming, and you learned a lot about their stuff, and then you kind of adapted that if you was there for a while. But when I compare it to HBCU, when I was there, the closest one to me was Southern University, and I went to that campus several times. And even though I wasn't going to class, I felt the difference when I was there. It was completely different, There was always something going on. They threw these different events. And this is the first time I've seen where they got like not local rappers and stuff. They had like real deal celebrity rappers and stuff to come for homecoming and perform and stuff like that. So that's another thing with HBCUs that you wouldn't get at PWI. Even though PWI probably has the means to do it as far as the money goes, but culture-wise and people that run the programs is a little bit different, so they're not even thinking about that. They don't think about stuff like that. So I always, I don't know, out of high school, I didn't think about going to HBCU until I started getting recruited by one, which is a very small one, Lane College in Tennessee. If y'all haven't heard of that, it's a small school. But I got recruited by them. I thought about it, but I wanted to go to a bigger school, so that's what influenced me. But I think like now I would want to go back, even though it would be different. I would want to go back and get my bachelor's from the HBCU. That's something I would want to do. But like you said, to give you HBCUs that edge or to compete with the PWIs, it is up to the alumni to put that money back into the school and the different programs and stuff, so they can. I'm not gonna say excel because they already excel, but to get on that level to where people will be like, oh man, that school right there is one of the top schools in the country. Not even say that it's HBCU, just say that's one of the top schools in the country that you can go to, So I think that's one of the things they can use to help them in the long
run. Kind of piggybacking off of that too, because like you was talking about with the homecoming and stuff like that, because when we was at PV, you used to walk around campus and you used to see rappers and stuff and singers and stuff just walking around on campus like it was just normal. It's just like it's stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then like every little thing could really turn into a party. I'm not saying go to school just for parties, but I'm saying like any little event could just turn into a party, and it was just the vibe, and it's just the energy of the HBCU is just different. They also good education too, but I'm just saying energy is different. All right, kind of moving on. I don't know if everybody has seen Stan about my move, the documentary.
I ain't seen it. I know about him, but I ain't seen it. What platform is it on?
So it's on Netflix. Is it on Netflix? I'm not sure if it's Netflix or if it's on Prime.
I'll just search the name.
Kind of give y'all insight of it. Most people know him by his Muslim name, but some people still kind of address him by his name given at birth, Chris Jackson. He played in the NBA for a few years. He was basically Steph Curry before Steph Curry. handles, jump shot, ability to dominate, even for a smaller guard like him. And he was basically like blackballed from the NBA based on his religious beliefs. He was the first one, because a lot of people used to Kaepernick being the one who kind of set the trend for kneeling during the national anthem. Chris Jackson was one of the first ones to actually do it, like because of his religious beliefs and because of the message within the national anthem, and then what the flag represents. He knew that for black people, they really shouldn't be praising that, and that's why he felt like he's going to push his religion, not on others, but just put it out there, like, this is my beliefs, so I have the right to believe in what I want to believe in. Because a lot of people were saying, like, if the roles were reversed and it happened to be a white guy pushing a certain religion to where he didn't stand for national anthems, represent the flag and stuff like that, it'd have been looked at differently. And I just feel like it was wrong because he really was robbed of his career. If he would have played his entire NBA career, we would probably look at the league a little bit differently. Who's to say? He probably could have been what people would consider one of the best players to ever play. And I feel like just because of religious issues and, you know, what he felt like was right for his people, it kind of messed up everything. And I wish that things could have been a little bit different, because I think that that's a messed up way to kind of ruin somebody's life. That's a lot that happens to him, man. Like they burnt his house down while it was still in the process of being built.
I already know, because I followed him pretty close. Like, I know what type of player he was, and I remember he was talking about during Ramadan how he would fast, but still, you know, go out there and play the game. And the first thing, you know, he might have an off night, you know what I'm saying? The first thing that they wanted to do was blame it on his religion, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you doing this, doing that. And, you know, the thing with America, you know, after, especially now during 9/11, you know, this on topic but off topic. First thing some Americans would do is look at Muslim people as a threat.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, you probably following Bin Laden, blah, 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 blah. And it's a thing where, like, people feel what they don't understand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they won't even give it a chance to try to understand it, so they can see, oh, well, you know what I'm saying, this person ain't that bad, or they ain't about this, and that's just what they believe in. So, I mean, he, like you say, man, he walked so that Kaepernick can run, or all these players, you know, because NBA now, they have a lot of representation, you know, as far as beliefs and things like that. You know, they had during the bubble, they had the shirts, you know, end racism, this, that, and the other, Black Lives Matter. Yeah. And it wasn't as frowned upon besides a lot of racist people behind their TVs and shit. But, like I say, he walked so that the guys today can run. And, you know, some people before him did, Malcolm X, Martin Luther, you know, it's always somebody that started it. And, you know, we just kind of follow suit. But he was definitely a special player, man, a special person at the same time. So
yeah, man, he really went through a lot of stuff. That's what make it worse when you watch it. It kind of like you feel bad for him, but at the same time, and like he even said, he didn't want nobody feeling sorry for him. You know what I'm saying? Stuff happened the way it happened for a reason, but I feel like after watching that stuff, because I remember him slightly a little bit from back in the day.
Yeah.
And I think he was on one of the early 2K games. Because I remember his last name. This is when he was in Vancouver, I believe.
Yeah.
No.
Or was it before that?
You thinking about?
Right.
You thinking about the other one?
Abdul-Rahim?
Yeah.
Oh,
He might have been on the first one, because I think
he was on the first one, NBA 2K.
Who was he playing for at that time?
He might have been still with the Nuggets.
No, I think he was in Sacramento.
Yeah. So, man, and if y'all watch this documentary and see that game where he torched Michael Jordan, he torched Jordan, man. So that he really was that good. Like people, he was really that good. If you watch what he did, especially if you watch it from the beginning, junior high school, college, he was cold.
Dominated on every level.
He was one of the best pull-up jumpers.
It's a shooter's base. He was cold. But like I said, he did that for people to be able to express their beliefs out in the open now. You know, say without having that backlash. You brought up some old historic figures as far as like Malcolm X and all that. Another one, an athlete that y'all may not know that did something similar with this stuff, Bill Russell. Bill Russell was around during the civil rights movement, so he marched and everything. You know, he did all that stuff too. So it's a few athletes that's done that, and they're great athletes. And I just feel like that really was messed up because he could have played way longer. His career got cut short because of people not really fully understanding what message he was trying to send, you know? So
it's just cause like with him, cause like you're saying, if you watch the documentary and you see every little thing he's been through, cause the fact that he was so talented at the sport, and the man had Tourette syndrome.
Yeah.
And that alone, cause he was saying like he could go in there and shoot 100 shots, and when he got to that 100th shot, if something was slightly off, he had to start over. It's stuff like that. Like he said that sometimes on his workouts, he felt like if you weren't to the point where you felt like you was gonna die, you didn't work out hard. I ain't gonna lie, I started laughing when he said
that. Will Smith shit, man.
But it's just the fact that like this man, like, cause you look at guys who kind of took a little bit of his style and implemented it. Cause you look at guys like I said, Steph Curry. You look at guys like Kyrie Irving. Cause he's like a mixture of those two players.
Right.
Like if you watch his play style. And
you know, even early Allen Iverson.
That too,
Yeah.
because it's a smaller guard, and
He'll boom on your ass. Yeah.
because Allen Iverson, another one that cooked Jordan. It's just stuff like that, man. Like you're saying, like he kind of set the trend, and like he was actually educated on the stuff that he was saying. He didn't just say stuff,
Right.
Because like I was talking about, Kyrie is one who is part of the same religion, but Kyrie, as talented as he is, I feel like sometimes he is misguided with some of the stuff he says and does. I wish that he would actually be a little bit more educated before he makes some of the statements that he makes. That's the thing about Chris Jackson. He always knew what he was saying before he said it. So he didn't come off as ignorant when people asked him certain questions. It's like you ask him a question, he knew exactly how to answer.
Yeah.
And like he was smoking with the night and everything. He brought that up
Right.
in the documentary. And he was saying that the fact that they went straight to blaming
In the time.
Muslims, they said all Muslims and stuff like that were bad.
Yeah.
And he was trying to prove a point that like it's not all Muslims. Like we can have similar beliefs, but everybody's not the same.
Yeah.
And it's just a shame that, you know, people who actually voice their opinion and are actually like being honest about themselves and what they believe in don't get the same opportunities as somebody else. It's just I think it's because of the fact that he wasn't necessarily like the face of the NBA.
Yep.
Because if it was somebody else, like during the time frame he was in, like just because Jordan was really the dominant player during that era, if Michael Jordan came out and said the same thing, do you think he would have faced the same type of backlash?
Absolutely not.
So
They wouldn't. NBA wouldn't have let him because that was their cash cow.
We're gonna lose a whole lot of money if y'all would say, you know what, just because of what you believe in, Jordan, we can't let you play.
Yeah.
Or like we know you're talented, but we can't take that risk of signing you.
Right.
Stuff like that. Because it was teams that was reaching out to him when he couldn't play anymore, trying to bring him in.
Yeah.
And then at the last second, nah, we can't talk to him.
Right.
And I feel like that was messed up. Cause I mean, you look at what he did after the NBA, he went overseas, he dominated overseas. Even as an older man now, he still plays in the Big Three.
Yeah.
And killing it in the Big Three. And this is a man in his 50s. So I mean, I really do wish that he could have got the chance to really play out his whole career. Because he was cold with it. I kind of want to stay within the sports realm instead of going to this last topic, because I think the last topic is something that we can really wait on. Since we are talking about the NBA, trade deadline just happened, last week, 2 weeks ago, something like that. So kind of want y'all thoughts on winners and losers of the trade deadline. Which teams you felt like overpaid and which teams sold themselves, and also which teams actually are better afterwards and which teams are worse. So kind of want to get y'all opinions on that. It can be any team that y'all feel like.
I'm gonna address the biggest trade that I feel like is the biggest is the Suns and Nets.
Mm-hmm.
Now I did feel like that the Suns kind of gave up their future because I'm big on Bridges and Cam Johnson, but at the same time I feel like the Nets got better and the Suns potentially can win a ship with KD. KD brings a big part now. The main issue is you got 3 players that kind of been plagued by injuries. Chris Paul, Booker has been getting injured lately, and then KD has been hurt the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now, even if you miss one of them players, you can still win the championship, which is, I guess, what they trying to go for. So I feel like that was a kind of a trade that both teams needed. You know what I'm saying? The Suns, they need KD, and I feel like the Nets have been a shit show, to be honest, since the Ben Simmons, James Harden, Kyrie. None of that has really worked for them. So I feel like the players they got now is a good nucleus to build around, potentially for a championship run in the future. I ain't saying they're ready right now, but in the future, they can potentially be a problem. Suns are trying to win right now, and they got at least the starting 5 to do so. So that was my.
I was gonna say something about them with KD, but I already know what I'm talking about. Rockets. Got to with the Rockets, man. So they get the player back they already had.
Oh, John Wall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now who did they give up for John Wall?
Eric Gordon. They
Okay.
sent Eric Gordon to the Clippers.
See, now I don't know. I think they helped the Clippers more than the Rockets.
So from what I'm a Rockets fan, so same shit. What the fuck? As soon as I see it, what the fuck they do that for?
Yeah.
Apparently it was to help with their cap space.
Okay. Well,
Because the thing
to help the Rockets count?
Yeah, because John Wall is on expire. He's basically on an expiring deal. Eric Gordon still got another like 2 years on his
Oh,
contract.
okay. Because I was thinking that
Yeah.
John Wall be getting paid more than Eric Gordon. That's what I was thinking.
Nah,
But
because they bought him out over the summer,
Yeah.
and he already basically got paid for this season.
see, I mean, it's not a bad trade, but at the same time, and the Rockets, Eric Gordon, that's his team, you know what I mean? But with the cast they got now, including with John Wall added to that, I don't know how this really gonna help them.
It's not.
You know, because I feel like he plays the same exact way as they play AAU ball. You can't have a whole AAU NBA basketball team trying to win a championship. They need some legit players, man. They need a solid big man.
Yeah.
They need a solid wing and a solid point. That's what you really need. And then a couple players off the bench. They have, like I said, they're young. They can build off of that, but they're gonna have to get a couple of players to get rid of the coach.
They terrible to watch.
Yeah, so-
I watched them the other night. They were playing OKC. I cut that shit off.
They got destroyed.
Yeah.
And it was the way they was playing, bro. Like,
That's what
I know I ain't no NBA player,
Yeah,
but I know the game's
That's
ridiculous.
what Silas was saying. Silas said they don't give no effort. That's why they be losing.
He's right. So he might be a casualty of war because of how they play, man. Because you got to bring somebody in there. I think Steven Silas is too soft.
That's what it is.
He's soft spoken. I feel like
You gotta get on their ass, man.
but I feel like when he first got the job, when I first heard about him getting the job, I was like, that's kind of a bad idea.
Yeah.
Not saying that he wasn't able to coach, but it's just that he's going to a team that was getting ready to start a rebuild.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Super rebuild.
so you don't put a brand new coach in that situation because it makes him look like he don't know what he doing. Give him
That
the
makes
same
sense.
opportunities like Ime Udoka had. He got to a team that was already legit, already built. And look what happened. And because you look at Mazzulla now coaching the Celtics.
Same shit.
Same shit. They top team in the East.
Yeah.
They got one of the best offense, best defense. They're like, come on, man. But kind of piggybacking on, because y'all talking about Phoenix. I think Phoenix overpaid. I also think Phoenix is worse now.
Think so?
Because they
Well,
have no
they don't.
defenders. Nobody plays defense on that team.
Yeah.
I feel like if I'm Phoenix, I would try my best to at least keep one of those players.
Yeah.
I would have rather kept Bridges over Johnson only because Bridges is a better defender.
Yeah.
And he can take on guys, because like to think about it, when you get to playoff basketball, the game slows down. and you have to have somebody that can hold opposing team's best player. If you look at Phoenix, if they have to match up with somebody, just say like they match up with Golden State, you can't guard Steph. You don't have nobody guard Steph. You have nobody to guard Clay. And the thing is, Wiggins is a good defender. He can guard. He can't stop KD, but he can guard KD. KD can't really guard nobody because he's never really played defense before like that. So I think Phoenix got worse. Brooklyn low-key got better because not only the Phoenix deal, but the deal they got from Dallas too. Because they took Dallas' best defender in Dorian Finney-Smith.
Oh, yeah.
They took Phoenix 2 best defenders in Bridges and Johnson. So I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like if I had to give that trade a grade, Brooklyn, I felt like I'll say B+, and I give Phoenix a C. Only because they could have tried. But if anybody trade DeAndre Ayton, he's played like straight shit all season. Like,
and y'all already had a falling out with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I said the same thing.
Because if you wanted a big man who could still step out and shoot the three, also is a good rim protector, you could have tried to do a deal with Dallas and go get Christian Wood because they was trying to get rid of Christian Wood. Like, why not do that deal? Ayton would have fit better with Dallas anyway. If you think about it, the skill sets that Dallas actually needs, they don't have a rim protector, which DeAndre Ayton can do. So I mean, it's just that right there. Is just it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Another trade that didn't necessarily make sense. When y'all talk about the Clippers, the trades the Clippers made absolutely no sense. They probably had the worst trade deadline on every team because you was complaining that you didn't have a point guard, but you got rid of your starting point guard in Reggie Jackson.
Yeah.
You got rid of the backup point guard, John Wall.
Yeah.
You got trash ass Terrence Mann playing point guard.
He's not a point guard.
He's not a point guard. You trade for Bones Highland, who's an undersized 2 guard. Can't play defense either. He's hit and miss. He has some games he's good, some games he's not. Yeah, you got Plumlee, who's a backup center. You needed another center, so
nice.
Yes, I give him props on that.
But they should have went and tried to get somebody like Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, if you really wanted a point guard like that.
Something like that. Because I know Miami was trying to move him.
They weren't, but I mean, he's still there. And then the fact that
they got better too, though.
Miami did because they got
Caleb. Yeah, they got Caleb today.
But yeah, the Clippers, like the trades didn't make sense. You got rid of Reggie Jackson, that didn't make sense. And he was actually playing pretty good this year. They're not a title contender at all.
They haven't been ever.
And they was talking about at one point in time they was trying to get Ben Simmons from Brooklyn. They were trying to find a trade to do that because they felt like if they get him, they would have the top defense in the league. But I've been saying this for the longest. Paul George, they always told him being a lockdown defender. I've never seen this man lock anybody down. He gets game-winning buckets scored on him all the fucking time. Motherfuckers be averaging 30 on him, but he's a lockdown defender. Kawhi ain't played defense since he got traded for San Antonio. So who's a lockdown defender on their team? The best defender they got don't even play in Robert Covington. Yeah. He just sits on the bench.
Shit, I forgot they even had him.
He does not play, and he's really the best perimeter defender.
And he can shoot. He can shoot as a big man. So
it's just that right there. So Clippers, I give y'all a D for the trade. And the only reason y'all don't get an F is because I like the Mason Plumlee fit.
Yeah.
But everybody else gives y'all could have got an F easy. I give y'all a D.
Oh man.
So out of all the trades, which team actually made the best trade to put themselves in a position to be competitive?
Lakers.
Yeah, I was gonna go with
Lakers and Nets, I guess.
I would say the only reason I don't say Nets is because I feel like they were already pretty good.
Yeah, true. Oh, you getting like, okay, I get what you're saying.
Also, like after the trade.
Yeah. I was like, probably Lakers.
I don't know, because
That's what D'Lo. I like D'Lo, man. I don't know why I like D'Lo so much. I guess it's like his game, even though he do some stupid shit sometimes. But I like D'Lo game, man. And you pair him with LeBron. It's just that fucking AD get on my nerves.
Yeah,
he's so inconsistent, bro. It's like some games he look like the best player in the league, and then some games you don't even realize he's on the floor.
Exactly. But yeah, because they 4 games back from
They after the game the other night, they are 4 games back of being the 4th seed in the West, but they sitting in I think 12th.
Oh, I ain't know that. I know that is like 4. So all the teams in that 4 to 8 is pretty much.
They only like a half game out of the play-in tournament.
Right.
But yeah, they really only 4 games from being a 4th seed.
And they just got to go on a nice run. I mean, of course, most teams wait till that All-Star break, which is this weekend.
Yeah.
So they should start to make their push right now towards a playoff run. But I think they'll make the playoffs, man. And that's a team that if I'm other teams in the West, I don't want to play.
Yeah, not in the playoffs.
Because that's what a lot of people. Stephen A. Smith said the same thing. He was saying like, because you look at possible matchups, first round matchups. Just say they don't make the playoffs, but they make the play in and then make the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Like if they end up playing somebody like Memphis or they play Phoenix.
Yeah.
Teams like that, even if they play Denver, there are teams that don't want to see a healthy Lakers team. Because the thing about the trade too that I like is the fact that 1, you got rid of Westbrook.
Yeah.
2, you got shooting in return.
Yeah.
You got better defenders. And then the fact that you only gave up 1 first-round pick throughout the entire trades. All the trades they made, they only gave up 1 first-round pick. So they still have the other one, which is something they could use this summer to possibly get somebody else.
True.
So, I mean, I'm not trying to be biased, but I think the Lakers trade, I would give it an A. Only reason they don't get an A+ is because I do feel like they didn't necessarily get a wing out of the pickups.
Yeah.
If they went and got a wing, they would have got an A+, because I feel like it was wings that they could have pursued that they didn't. Like Terrence Ross got bought out by Orlando. He's in Phoenix now.
It was a nice pick up.
Yeah, he could have been a nice fit for the Lakers because of the fact that he's a wing. He plays a little bit of defense, but he's a shooter.
He can shoot. Yep.
And so
He athletic too.
yeah, he don't fit with Phoenix. I understand they was just trying to load up. It's just like Reggie Jackson. He gonna be in Denver. He's not a fit with Denver. They just going to find who's at the top of the season. Let me go sign with them. The ones that's being bought out right now.
And this is the thing though, like with the West, bro, like the East is Bucks in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Miami, maybe we'll see what happens after this Kevin Love pickup. But in the West, I'm like, who gonna run away with it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
because even with Denver being a top seed, they're still not like the clear-cut dominant team in the West.
right? They just got the best big.
That's it.
With Jokic. I like Jokic. And that's the thing. Like, you know, in the past it's been the Warriors, but they
The Warriors, they ain't about it, because they lost. A lot of people was talking about, the people they lost over the offseason wasn't that big. Like, you lost your best defenders.
Yeah.
You lost Gary Payton and you lost Otto Porter. Yeah, you got Gary Payton back, but motherfucker not healthy.
Yeah.
There's a reason he wasn't playing in Portland. He hasn't been healthy. So, and then the trade almost didn't go through because he failed his physical.
I seen it. I remember.
Like,
They barely
They barely let him get. But it's like the Warriors not the same team.
I like Sacramento with Fox and Sabonis.
They gonna. I feel like at the All-Star break they gonna fizzle out.
You think so?
Yeah, because they can't keep it up. Because it's like I forgot it was who they was playing. It was a team. Matter of fact, it was the fucking Rockets. The Rockets ended up losing, but it was just the fact that Rockets was on their ass the entire game.
That's still about right though.
But it's just like you can't even keep up. And the Rockets really don't have no defenders.
They don't.
And so that's what I'm saying. Like you gotta look at matchups like that. I feel like the West is kind of up in the air. East, you already know who the top 2 teams gonna be. If Philly would have made a trade to get rid of Tobias Harris and pick somebody else up, they would have been like if they would say, you know what, fuck it, let's go all in on getting KD. If Philly would have got KD, that right there would have made a lot more sense because. And the thing is, they had the assets to do it. You could have put Harris, PJ Tucker,
Sure.
a couple of other bench players, and some picks.
And some picks would have been good. They ain't trying to win no shit.
That's all it is.
They some underachieving
Yeah.
that team.
That shit.
It's all about who you got in the office, man.
And this is Daryl Morey. He wanted to put a lot of ex-Houston players.
That's supposed to
in
make the
Philly.
Rockets Jr.
See,
And it's like, how much success did you have in Houston with that shit? James Harden got braids. So we're gonna stay on the NBA.
Got breeds.
With LeBron becoming the all-time leading scorer, does that officially make him the GOAT?
It depends on who you ask.
Well, if you had to say the GOAT of the NBA, who would you say is the GOAT right now?
Right now, LeBron.
What is your reasons for saying LeBron is the GOAT?
Because nobody has done what he's done. Nobody impacts the game like he does, and nobody plays the game like he does. Especially at the level he's doing it right now at the point of his career. Oh, he came out of high school, so he's still playing a long time. He plays hard, like he never let up ever.
It's because a lot of people was trying to use that as an excuse for why Jordan made the all-time leading scorer. Oh, he went to college for 3 years. Oh, he retired for 2 years and stuff like that.
Don't matter. Jordan was dropping. Jordan was making numbers, y'all. Y'all don't know nothing. That's why y'all saying that.
It's because Jordan came into the league with him having to be the guy.
Yeah.
But all he did was fuck and score. LeBron didn't do that. LeBron came into the league pass first mentality. And the fact that everybody was like, he's not a scorer, but he's the all-time leading scorer. You just like tell me what kind of sense that makes.
It's because they weren't paying attention to the game, man.
Yeah, because like every time somebody has the debate about the GOAT, the only thing they say about Jordan, 6-0 in the finals. But what about all the other, because he played, I think, 13, 14 years, something like that?
Yeah.
So what about the other seasons he didn't make the finals?
Well, his first years, he didn't. Shit, they got knocked down in the play, but they don't talk about that.
They don't talk about shit like that.
This is how I look at it. What does Jordan do better than LeBron besides shoot?
He don't even shoot better than him if you look at the percentage.
Percentage-wise, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
The only thing I would say that Jordan probably did, well, to a certain extent, his defense.
His defense, and then Jordan has that killer instinct.
Yeah.
That Kobe
Like
had.
Kobe, yeah.
LeBron didn't have it. He has it when he get pissed off, but they come out like I want to kill you. If Bron had that, it would y'all even answer. And to me, he's still better. Like I seen Jordan when we were younger, and I respect his game and everything. Now there's some cats that be like, "Oh, Jordan the best," but they didn't even see him play.
Yeah.
Now, granted, you can YouTube his game and stuff, but I feel like Jordan's persona, his shoe, I'm wearing Jordans right now, his shoes, things like that, people take into effect when they talking about who's the best player.
Yeah.
And also, like they say, okay, if Jordan was 16 on the finals, shit, does that mean Bill Russell go?
Because they put out that's about I think it's John Havlicek.
Yeah, I think he ain't no.
Eight on the finals. He had more All NBA teams than Jordan.
Yeah.
Who else got the ring? Robert Ory.
Robert Ory has more ring.
Yep.
See, so
It's all like they want to skew the conversation to fit that narrative instead of just looking at the straight facts and numbers. If you want to talk about numbers, we can talk about numbers. If you want to talk about now, of course, if you want to talk about rings, then that means Jordan's not the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? So it just
they don't have there's no validation in the argument.
Yeah.
You got some people that just hate. I feel like if LeBron was never compared to Jordan, then there wouldn't be that much hate on him.
yeah.
Because like no people could all time Kobe is my favorite player of all time. But there was no real hate on Kobe, even though he was compared to Jordan all the time.
yeah.
And they never no people like nobody really viewed him as, I guess you would say, a real threat.
Yeah.
It's because this guy coming out of high school, all this hype.
I'm up cold.
You know what I'm saying? Like and it's a guy on YouTube, older guy named Chilltown. He broke down the entire debate between LeBron and Jordan and was saying not only if you look at the numbers, but you look at the expectations too. And then you also look at LeBron has only lost in the first round once in his entire career.
Yeah.
He's usually he spent half of his career in the finals.
Yeah.
And they don't know he's 4 or 6 or whatever. He got there. And it's like you look at some of the teams that he took to the finals, he's only been the favorite in the finals in his whole career, I think twice.
I'm assuming Miami.
No.
Not with Miami.
Not with Miami. he
Damn.
because the first title he won against OKC was the favorite to win the title.
That's when they had Harden and
Because they were top seed. They had the best record in the league. They were the number 1 seed in the West. Home court advantage. They were favored to win that series, and they lost in 5.
Yeah.
His first year back with the Cavs, when they played Golden State, Cavs were favored in that series, and then the year the Lakers won the title against Miami, they were favored in that series. So that's the only 2 times he's been favorite to win a championship.
That's crazy.
And the other time he's been the underdog, but nobody realizes that. It's like every time Jordan was in the finals, there has never been, oh, they might lose, except for the first time he went when they played against the Lakers. But at that point in time, Lakers was old as shit.
With Magic,
Magic.
Yeah, they all
of them cats was old, and you had like, cause it's another thing I saw earlier about Isaiah Thomas was saying that Jordan, you can't even necessarily say he's the best scorer of all time because you look at, there was ways to slow him down. They was like, if you look at his numbers in a lot of the series and stuff like that, realistically, the highlight and stuff, the accolades gonna go to him. But he said, look at the numbers, Scotty carried them in some series. And
but that's why they didn't win until Scotty got there. If I ain't mistaken.
When they got Scotty, they got
Scottie Pippen was cold.
Exactly. And they got a system that helped Jordan not to have to carry the entire load. He didn't have to worry about being the guy who led the team in assists.
Yeah.
He didn't have to facilitate. All he had to do was fucking score. That's all he had to do. So it's like, you look at that, it's like, there has to be a system around LeBron in order for him to be successful, but that's any player.
Yeah, any player, man.
So it's like, because you look at Steph Curry, as great as he is, he has to have guys on his team that can play defense because he can't play defense.
He's very liable.
Like LeBron has to have shooters because he's not a great shooter.
Yeah.
It's just like Jordan. He has to have guys who get rebounds, guys who can pass because he's gonna take care of the scoring.
Yeah.
But you can't necessarily give him credit for certain shit and not give LeBron credit for his certain shit.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's some people that still gonna say Jordan the GOAT.
And it ain't nothing wrong with that. Like, some people said, like, I know a lot of the older cats say Dr. J is the GOAT. He's way older than I got to see play, so you know what I'm saying.
But Magic Johnson.
Some people say Kareem too.
Kareem. So I've heard some people say Elijah won.
Elijah was cold.
So as long as you have validation to what you're saying, I ain't gonna be mad at you. Because you can't just say, oh shit, LeBron lost these many. That's not valid.
Because some people just hate on him because of who he is.
Yeah.
You look at Jerry West, the logo. He won in 8 in the finals. But
He's the logo.
He's the fucking logo. That's what I'm saying. Like, look at stuff like that. Elgin Baylor, who's considered one of the greatest players of all time, never won a championship.
Yep.
And it's like they don't really. It's because they only want to discredit him because it's him. But you look at the other situations, because it's like they trying to say, oh, if Scotty never had migraines, then they could have won the title the year before they actually won the title.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, if Kyrie and Kevin Love never got hurt in 2015, Cavs would have beat the Warriors.
So if Derrick Rose would have had injuries, he probably could have best played. So you can say anything.
It's a lot of stuff that y'all can say. Realistically, like Grant Hill never got hurt.
Oh shit.
Penny
Hardaway.
That's my favorite player all the time.
So it's like, come on, man. There's a lot of stuff that you can really say, but you, like you're saying, you gotta have validation with what you trying to say.
That's all I'm asking for.
The reason I say LeBron, like I said, Kobe's my favorite player, but I feel like LeBron is the GOAT only because of the accolades proving everybody wrong.
And then he still got time.
Yeah, and the fact that he's in year 20, he's averaging 30 per game. Like 30 points, like 8 rebounds, like 7, almost 8 assists.
I was saying longevity gotta count for something too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you consistently been doing this many years, that's also an argument.
Yep.
And it's just the fact that, like, and he's the top that when he locks in, you really can't stop him.
Nope.
Because even to this day, he still has the ability. If he decides to put his shoulder down and drive to the rim, there's nobody in the league gonna stop him.
Yeah. If you really look at it, watch the way he played, even his build, nobody really can guard LeBron.
Exactly.
Like it'll be very difficult to shut him down.
Because you look at most teams. I remember the year, like I was talking 2015, when the Warriors won their first title.
Yeah.
Iguodala got Finals MVP because of supposedly he shut down LeBron. But LeBron averaged like 27 that series.
Yeah.
I never knew that was shutting anybody down. It's the same thing with Kawhi when the Spurs beat the Heat. LeBron averaged like, I think, 26 that series. But they talk about Kawhi played great defense. Ow, this man, he was shooting like 50% from the field.
It's like Gary Payton, he said he shut down.
Shut down the NBA, man. See, but I mean, yeah, that's a lot. You can't really say you shut somebody down. They still averaging more than what they average through the regular season.
Yeah.
So I don't understand that shit. But you usually see, like, now they throw multiple people at LeBron to kind of slow him down. Because there's nobody, in a one-on-one situation, there's nobody that can guard him.
Yeah.
Especially now, because he's mostly playing, sometimes he plays the power forward. He's too athletic for most power forwards. So,
Was expensive.
so it's like, you'll never see anybody like him. Even his sons, I mean, Bryce, it's a possibility Bryce could end up growing to be like his dad, Bronny, unless he hits a growth spurt in between now and going to college. I don't see it.
Boy,
He's still gonna be, he's still gonna be nice with it, but he's just not gonna be LeBron.
All right.
But yeah, that's pretty good. And on that one, like I said, everybody has a different GOAT perspective, everybody has a different top 5 and stuff like that. Like I said, to me, I think not even him becoming an all-time leading scorer makes him good. I feel like the fact that this man is like top 10 in every category.
That's my thing. Like he can pass, rebound, points.
Yeah, like come on, man. The number 1 in points. I think he's number 4 in assists.
People don't realize that, man.
Not a point guard.
Exactly. So Stockton for one, huh?
Yeah.
Ain't nobody catching him.
Yeah, so it's like you look at stuff like that. It's like, come on, man. Like I fuck with Jordan, but I feel like if those two, if you put prime against prime, just look at Jordan teammates, look at LeBron's teammates. Jordan never had to worry about anything because he came into the same squad every year.
Yeah.
They didn't make changes. What worked is what they kept.
Yeah.
LeBron had new teammates every fucking year. And then everybody like, oh, he asking for help and stuff like that. No, his GM and stuff like that is doing all these trades. He's not controlling that. He just say, yeah, go ahead and do it, but that don't necessarily mean it's gonna fucking work like that. So here's what let's get back as fuck you. All right. So the closing topic is something that, a lot of people talk about it. Some people don't. Some people out there don't notice it. It's very noticeable. The natural versus enhanced bodies, plus women with and without makeup. What is y'all takes on that?
Man, as far as the makeup go, like I don't care. Like you can wear makeup, you can't, but it's a such thing as too much makeup.
Yeah.
And I'll find like some women be like, this ain't for men, they doing it for them. And that's cool. But then at the same time, some women be like, oh, I'm doing this because men like it. Like I don't know too many men that like heavy makeup.
Yeah.
Me personally, like in my circle, I don't know. And it's the same thing with the BBL versus the natural bodies. Like everybody I know likes natural women.
Yeah.
And sometimes dog, like they take the surgery and enhancement so far, it just looks bad.
Yeah.
Like now, what's my girl named SZA? She had surgery, but hers like fits her body. You know what I'm saying? She look good with hers, but you can tell like you can tell like her body too perfect, man. Like ain't nobody built like that. But I just don't understand it, man. Like I don't know. I ain't saying it's like a self-esteem thing, but if you gonna get the surgery, just make sure it looks proportionate to the rest of your body. That's all it is. I mean, a lot of women they fine already. Like your body is fine. Trust me, men do not care about stretch marks on your butt, stretch marks on your stomach, things like that. We do not care. You can have that. The little stomach pops, you know what I'm saying? You can have that. Men do not care. So it's hard, like, because some women just unhappy in their own skin.
Yeah.
So if that make you feel better, then by all means go ahead and do it. But as me as a man, you don't have to do that. You already fine, you already beautiful. That's it. That's all I got to say about that,
Man. Because you see some women that you see in everyday life that got the enhanced bodies just like that. It's kind of rare though.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, the proportion. If you're gonna do it the correct way. Get proportion correctly. We don't need the cheek hip ratio to not match the thighs, and this shit looks fucking stupid. Don't do it. Y'all be thinking that shit look good. It does not. Because that's really it. Cause like as far as like females, they get like they breasts done and stuff like that. That's not necessarily like too crazy. Like just don't go overboard with it.
You talking about like getting them in?
Yeah, like if you just get like if you wanted to give them reshaped or like if you wanted to go up a cup size or something like that, that's fine.
Yeah.
But don't be fucking going from like A cups to like fucking triple D's and shit.
And you know, I better cut in, but it's someone right here. They talk about like having saggy breasts. They hate having saggy breasts. But I'm like, if you got big titties, they gonna sag. Like, that's natural. You can't just have them sitting up like you got that water balloons on your chest.
Exactly. That's fine with that shit. I remember one time we was at the strip club in Vegas.
That was trash. Which one?
The second one. Not the first one was horrible. The second one was okay.
Okay, yeah.
The second one, it was a stripper who had fake titties, and she thinking that putting my face in between them was something that I wanted. Those big, hard, cinder block feeling ass titties, that's the shit I'm talking about. It's like, man, if you gonna get it done correctly. I had a fucking scratch on my face just from the fucking titties, man. So, yeah, like that right there is going overboard. I don't like, if you're gonna get enhancements, cool. It's just that as long as you do it to where it still is proportioned correctly, that's all that really matters. Don't go overboard with it. Now, as far as makeup and stuff like that goes, like me, I don't really mind makeup and stuff like that. There's actually a lot of women who look a whole lot better without makeup though.
Right.
And you got some, they wear makeup fine. It's one in particular that I work with. When she don't wear makeup, she still looks pretty fucking good. I'm just being honest, she still look good. She look good with it too, but she look good without it. But yeah, as long as cause when we give y'all a hug or a kiss, something like that, we don't want all this fucking foundation and shit on our face, on our clothes and stuff like that. So don't go overboard with makeup and shit. Leave your whole face print on us and shit like that. Cause I mean, and it's not good for your skin either, wearing all that fucking makeup either.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, I don't mind makeup. I just don't. It's another same thing with the enhancements. Just don't go overboard with it. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I'm with y'all on that. You know, I'd rather no makeup. That's just me. Cause I mean, I'd rather natural beauty. But if you gonna wear makeup, well, you know what? I'm not even say if you gonna wear it, cause you can do what you want to do.
Yeah.
It's whatever makes you happy. If you think you look good, it's up to you. But me personally, I don't know. If I can tell there's like a thick layer on your face, that's too much. You know what I mean? If I can go up there like this, and that's on my finger, too much makeup. So that people, it is somewhere to go overboard with it. Another thing, not necessarily makeup, but lashes. That's cool too. But I've seen it like a snippet of how they do it. Man, that take a lot of damn time to do. So I get it. Y'all want y'all lashes, y'all gonna wear them shits.
But they end up fucking up their neck, like they real ones.
Oh yeah,
they gotta wear them.
Yeah,
depending on how which color they do, but.
But I've seen females, they don't wear too much makeup, but they gotta have their lashes. So that's another thing. But as far as enhancements, I'll put it like this: some women, they'll get their body done, and they won't necessarily be enhancement. They'll maybe be like a mommy makeover, if you will.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They had kids, they know they done having kids. They get their body how they want it, redone, I guess, you know, whatever word you want to use for it. And it's usually those women, it looks more natural. Because I feel like I put it like with age groups. If you're super young and you get your body done, that's an enhancement, clearly, because you probably don't have kids.
Right.
So when you have kids, I don't know how your body gonna look afterwards. You're gonna have to get some more work done.
Yeah.
But like y'all said, going overboard with it. Like if this is your back right here, your ass should be like this. Unless you already, some people naturally have, you know, like, you know, it shouldn't be like that unless it's natural. But if your legs are this small, and your ass is like this, this is the front of your body, this is the back, so it don't look right. So y'all gotta know, and a doctor shouldn't even do that. I mean, that's making a doctor look bad.
But no, they probably laughing at shit.
I mean,
she finna look stupid as fuck.
But it's some females that get this stuff done. If you look at them, you wouldn't even know that they got it done.
Yeah.
And it looks good because they went to a good doctor and they got it proportioned correctly. If you only know if they got it done if you've seen this person before. Like if you knew this person before they got this, they're like, oh, she got that done, but it looked natural.
Yeah.
You know, so you thinking in your mind like, oh, man, she put on some weight, that look, you know. So Ladies don't go overboard with it. I think most men really don't care about it. You know, it's not that serious. Now, men will probably get mad if your backside is like, if it don't feel natural, if it feel all hard and stuff, that's a problem too. So make sure y'all do y'all research, get the stuff done correctly. You know.
Yeah.
But whatever makes you happy, you can do that. But just, I don't know, man.
And if you do decide to do the BBL or whatever, do not go the cheap route.
Yeah.
I promise you, do not go the cheap route. I done heard people all the time. They try to go to Mexico or whatever to get it done, end up in Memorial Hermann Hospital because it went wrong, or something that happened, or just a year later it messed up. Like if you go, just save up and go to a legit doctor, do your research, look up multiple doctors, the whole nine, man. Because you playing with one thing you do not go cheap on is your body at all.
Now, we don't necessarily want to seem like we trying to bash women, because it's something for dudes too.
Yeah.
If your hairline is fading, don't go get no spray painted edger. If you got gray in your hair and your beard on Monday, and I see you on Tuesday and your shit is jet black, stop doing it. That shit is like, people know this shit like that. So dudes, if you losing your hair, just embrace it, bro. Or if you got the chance to go get your hairline redone,
Get the Deion Sanders.
Yeah, they got surgeries for that too. You can go do that. But I'm saying, if you got the motherfucking McDonald's edge up, and then you come in, your shit is fucking extra crispy and shit like that the next day.
Jalen Rose.
Yeah, man, like come on, man. Cause me personally, I'm gonna clown you, especially if it's an unnatural black. I'm talking about fucking like blacker than his shirt type shit, like some shit that we can't even create in the lab. That type black. Like we don't know, like motherfuckers gonna clown you, dude.
Oh man.
I know a few people that done did it. That shit looks stupid as fuck.
Hey, but you brought up men. Some men, I'm not gonna say BBLs, but they get their bodies done too. Yeah. Hey man, make sure y'all nigga look natural too, man.
Must get the Batman hands and shit.
Yeah, like fucking what's his name, Bandman Kibble?
I didn't want to say that, but
fuck that. You could have went in the gym and got the same fucking result. You look stupid as fuck doing that shit.
He said it was hard to lose just fat. I mean,
fuck that,
that's what he said.
Fuck that, cause he went overboard with it.
Yeah,
but it don't matter about your face, and you still look like Donatello. Like you could have go do like just come on, man.
Yeah, fellas, man, hit the gym, y'all. Hey,
what's this dude?
Matter of fact, we got I don't know if y'all with this or not, but we got some fitness stuff coming for y'all too, man. Y'all be on the lookout for that. We'll start doing a little bit more stuff outside of the podcast, a little bit more vlog in action. It could be from any of us or all of us together. So y'all be on the lookout for that too. We'll throw some stuff up in there for people who want to see little different things, so we'll let y'all see that too.
We're gonna have, like you said, fitness stuff. We're gonna have some car stuff.
Yeah.
We also gonna have some firearm stuff like gun shows. We might go to the range. We're gonna be expanding instead of just doing the typical just only podcast type stuff.
Even some fashion stuff too, man. Just don't let how we dress right now fool y'all. We know how to dress, so
we can tell y'all that. Also, speaking of men who want to work on their hygiene, from fucking body wash, deodorant, cologne. Yeah. Every cologne don't work on every man. But you also gotta be clean before you spray cologne on too. Cause there's some dudes that be musty as fuck and think the cologne gonna cover it. No, that's just gonna create some shit that's gonna burn a whole nother fucking ozone layer. So yeah, we're gonna be working on a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, man.
But that's gonna be it for this episode. Hope y'all enjoyed. Make sure you leave a comment, you like, subscribe. I'm Quinn.
Tor.
It's Club 36 Podcast, and we out.